What's up, everybody? I am here with Mike, baseball collector, and Ty will from Breaker Culture will be on in a little bit. We are today going through a challenge that Mike and Ty are going through where we put together a $25,000 made-up portfolio. And every month we're allowed to sell up to 5 cards and buy up to 5 cards. And so we have been month by month kind of tracking how we're doing. But anyway, how you doing, Mike? How's any opening thoughts?
Well, people are going to find out quickly who's winning, and it's not me. But yeah, this is just a lot of fun and just doing it for, giggles. But it's interesting how you put a portfolio together, and like my trades that I'm going to do tonight are going to be very out of my wheelhouse, but I think it's an area I've been doing a lot of homework, and I think, it kind of sucks though. I mean, we picked like the perfect time to do this. Who would have known that the hobby would be doing what it's doing right now? When we started this, we thought, or at least I thought, well, it's kind of peaked out in December. It won't be that big a deal, but it's a big deal. It's been a big deal.
Yeah, I was saying to you before we went live that we are. I think we might be in the golden era. We might look back at 2021 as the golden era, and looks like Ty is ready to jump in. So let me add him. Let's see. Oh wait, add. There he is. Ty, what's up?
Hi, guys.
We just went live. You didn't miss anything. I know you're putting your kids to sleep, I think.
No, kind of. It's kind of a mess tonight, but it's all good.
Or beating the crap out of him. Ty he does corporal punishment in his house.
No, I do not. No,
what do you think about Tatis?
What's that?
What do you think about the Tatis extension? Did you hear about it?
I didn't even see it. No.
14 years, $340 million for a guy that has 186 hits in his whole career.
Yeah, that's a franchise investment, not necessarily productivity. I feel like that's just investing in the franchise.
Yeah, it's something. I'm sorry, 168 hits in his whole career. So, and he's got $340 million. And baseball contracts are guaranteed, so that's pretty crazy, I think.
Insane. He's worth every penny of it.
Yeah, I was saying to Mike, I was trying to like last minute figure out how to squeeze in a Tatis Sapphire to my portfolio, but I was trying to make the numbers work. I didn't have enough cash, so
yeah.
Although in real life I own that card, so I guess I can't be that upset.
I'd say so. I was dealing with the same thing, Joe. I was trying to like squeeze in different cards, and it's hard. It's hard when you only have 5 transactions.
Yep. And again, for those of you guys that kind of are new to what we're talking about here, so again, Ty, Mike, and I, back in December, which was like perfect timing, we decided that each of us were going to come up with our own $25,000 portfolio. So in other words, we could spend up to $25,000 and on any card that's out there, put a little portfolio together. And then month to month, kind of see how our portfolio did. And then in January, we basically got back on a broadcast, and we've done 2 of these so far. And we were allowed to sell up to 5 cards and then buy up to 5 different cards. And so we are now, I guess, 2 months in. This will be our 3rd stream so far. But yeah, I think we got like perfect timing in terms of, the right time to buy, because it's been ever since we might have to continue this forever, guys, because this is whenever we started this, the market's just exploded.
I was going to say, I think of it the other way around. I feel like once we decide to do this, the market's like, okay, now we can go ahead and move.
That might be.
Now, looking back on it, everybody's going to see our results here in a minute for where we're at 2 months in. But do you guys wish you would have actually bought these cards with your real $25,000?
I did buy a lot of them.
Yeah,
you?
me
I
too.
did. Yeah.
Through this research, I ended up buying. I'll tell you the cards I bought. The Jerry Rice rookie card, and I got that at an 8. And I think that was either. I think it might have been Ty or Mike that kind of brought
I
my attention.
bought one, but I just bought one.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. You guys had just bought one, and then through my research, I was like, wow, it seems to be, especially in an 8, seemed to be really cheap. And then the big card that I ended up buying through this research was the, and thank God I did it, was the Magic Johnson Larry Bird card. Bought that card in a PSA 7 through this research, and I was like, wow, that seems like a really great price. You know, I normally don't look into basketball. As you guys know, most of my stuff is baseball. And ended up buying it, I think, for $1,700. And I think we'll see in a little bit what it's going. I think even in a PSA 7, it's going for like 6,000 or 7,000. So I'm glad I bought it when I did, because who knows if it'll ever go back to 1,700 ever again. So,
Jeez.
What some of the cards you guys bought?
I bought the Rogers. I bought the Rice recently. I only got a PSA 6 on the Jerry Rice. I bought more Michael Porter Juniors. I bought the Nikola Jokic, which is up like 90%. I tried to get the Steph Curry. I'm so mad I didn't get it. I tried to get a PSA 9 of it, but it's up 250%.
Damn.
But I couldn't snag it. It's been good. Mike had all these cards anyway, so he didn't have to buy anything.
There's a few there's one tonight that I'm buying in my portfolio, fictional portfolio, and I'm going to buy in real life. So,
well, and it's funny you mentioned that because there was one that the price was a little high, but I wanted it so bad I made an offer and I got the card just so I could have a fair price in my portfolio. So I bought it just to get my price lower.
Well, who's going to go first tonight, Joe?
Well, you know, I guess we'll start at the top, right? I think you're at the top of my Excel spreadsheet. So why don't I share my screen? Hopefully this works. And then maybe, Mike, you could talk us through your portfolio so far. I feel like this is going to get more and more complicated to explain as we move forward. But
well, I'll try to explain it
sure.
As best I can. The cards, you know, we got each person has their own portfolio. We've got greens are things that were added in January or sold in January, I'm sorry. And then yellows are new cards that we added in January. So you'll see that for each guy. In January, I got rid of my Cody Bellingers. I just thought it was dead money, really. And I bought some Kurt Schillings, which turned out to be not a great idea because if you go over to February, those have actually gone down about 22%. But after 1 month, I was up. My 25 grand had grown to a little over 32,000. Now here we are a month later, and it's a little over 43,000. So I'm up 72%, which is sadly good enough for only third place. I'm up 72% in 2 months, and I'm in third place.
You're like, so like, hopefully that resonates with people. Like, you're in 2 months, your portfolio would be up 72%. That's I know that like almost all cards are up, but that is insane to be up 72, almost double your entire portfolio in 2 months.
I was telling Mike yesterday that if that was a hedge fund manager, we'd be on CNBC like every day talking about what we're doing.
Oh man, that is, I don't know. I just think that's incredible. I mean, and this is exactly why everyone's jumping in and why cards are going up, because that, like, you'd have to be blind to not see what's going on. Like even Mike's up 72%.
Even Mike. Well, I'll quickly go through my cards. The Soto moved up from 285 to 410. That's just the base update, PSA 10. I still think that card has room to go, just because it's his flagship rookie. Luka, I'm holding on to. I just think, I don't know why his stuff keeps going. I mean, it's down almost 20%. His PSA 9 Prism Silver from 18. And he's only going to make the All-Star team. He's only, did triple doubles every couple of games. I mean, it's like, good grief. But the non-surprising thing to me is the LeBron James PSA 9 Chrome rookie has gone just nuts. It was $4,000 when I originally bought it. It's now over $10,000.
Wow.
Which was I think that's, I don't know, that's pretty high, although I think it can still go up a little bit more. The Koufax rookie in a 6, I had 2 of those, I think.
Yep.
And those have gone from about $2,500 a piece to $4,300 a piece, which is, I mean, my vintage stuff has paid off. And it was back in December when we did this, vintage had not done what it's doing right now, right? It was all the modern market, and the vintage market is now just going nuts. The Hank Aaron rookie that I bought for $4,000 is now almost 8,000. The Willie Mays PSA 5 53 tops was 3,100. It's now 6,500, so it's doubled. The Mantle that I bought has doubled. So it's just crazy what's going on in the vintage market. And Schilling hasn't done anything. So I'll go ahead. We just go ahead and give our. I'll just talk about it all full circle and give my trades. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm getting rid of the Schillings. I was wrong, and that's something to remember if you're an investor of anything, whether it's stocks or bonds or sports cards. You're going to be wrong, and the point is, you have to admit it and move on and say, okay, I was wrong. So I was wrong on Schillings, so I'm selling my Schillings this month. I'm also going to sell one of my Koufaxes because I have 2. So I'm going to keep one. It's kind of that, it's almost doubled. So I'm kind of taking that, a little bit of the meat off the bone there. I'm going to take one card and turn that into some other stuff and keep one of them. And so that gives me $5,200 to spend on those 2 trades. And so I'm going to buy 4 cards. I'm going to buy 3 football cards. Ty's going to drop it. He's not going to believe this. I'm buying 3 football cards. He's like, what are you doing, Mike? You're an idiot.
There's a reason you're in 3rd place.
Well, I am of the firm belief that I think vintage football is next to go nuts. And so I'm going to buy 3 cards. I'm going to buy Joe Montana's rookie, 1981 tops in a PSA 8. Those are about $800. I'm going to buy 2 of those. I think that's cheap, actually, $800 for Montana rookie.
That's all. Oh, wow, that's a good call, Mike. I like that. PSA 8.
PSA 8, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a PSA 9 Lawrence Taylor rookie, which is 82 tops. And those are about $1,300.
By the way, I mean, that Lawrence Taylor card, I got a Lawrence Taylor card out of the $5 bin a couple of years ago.
Crazy.
It's amazing, like how things have changed. It's just, I remember going into a $5 bin, and there was I got an 83 tops Wade Boggs from that bin. I got a Mark McGuire, the 85 tops in the $5 bin, and then they had a Lawrence Taylor, all in really nice condition. In a $5 bin. It's just amazing now. And now you see $1,300 and you're like, oh, that sounds cheap for a Lawrence. It's just crazy.
So I got one of those, and then my big purchase for this month with my $5,200 is, and this is the card I'm going to go buy personally, is the 1976 tops Walter Payton in a PSA 8, his rookie. Those are only about $2,200. I went on the high end on my estimate on the cost, but $2,200 was kind of trying to be as fair as I can. You can get them for $2,200.
But Mike, which I'm sorry, the Walter Payton in what grade?
An 8.
That's what I have, that card.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Like in real life?
I'm gonna go get that personally.
You're gonna get that in real life, right?
Yeah, in an 8. I just think that's a very undervalued. I still think that's cheap, actually, which sounds crazy.
It actually, I bought that a couple of months ago for like $1,800. So yeah, it's not. It hasn't gone up that much, compared to some of the other craziness that's gone on. So that makes sense.
And I think that the higher end, the goats on the higher end, are just have room to run still. I don't know so much on the kind of lower end stuff, but I think the GOAT stuff, and Walter Payton's one of the greatest running backs ever, right? You could argue Jim Brown, Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Tony Dorsett. It'd be a short,
Yep.
It wouldn't be a long list for anybody to list their greatest running backs and get to Walter Payton. So that's why I like that one. And then I had $100 left over, so I went ahead. Bo Bichette's 2020 Topps flagship rookie at 10 is down at around $100. So I'm going to buy one of those just for giggles, just to spend my $100 because I got to catch you guys. So I need something to do well for me.
Nice.
So that's my my thoughts. What are y'all's thoughts about just my existing portfolio, how I did in the month, and then what I'm trading and changing?
I'll say that I think what you're doing makes a lot of sense. I mean, what I've noticed over the last months, when you guys say that vintage has done really well, to me, what I've noticed that's really gone crazy is like the 80s stuff. Like the 80s, 90s, and they're all like the 86 Jordan, the 93 SP Jeter, like all this stuff like that, when we all three of us were kids, were our heroes those are the cards that are really exploded, whereas the modern cards haven't really exploded, and the vintage stuff, they've all done well, but the big part that's really taken off. But yeah, to your point, the football in that era hasn't gone as crazy. So maybe that's the next thing to take off. So I think those are really smart purchases.
We will see.
I think you nailed it. So here's an interesting stat. I sent this out to a bunch of people today in a report I wrote. But with modern day, and this translates really well to vintage too, because the percentages are about the same. So PSA 10s of current players, current rookie, primary rookie PSA 10s, there's 155,000 PSA 10s of current basketball rookies, players playing right now. 137,000 baseball PSA 10s, current players. Guess how many football players have PSA 10 rookies right now, combined across the league?
20,000.
32,000. It is 20% of the pop of baseball and basketball. Football has been completely underlooked, and I think you nailed it. I do have one comment about the Mavericks and Luka Doncic. You were wondering why Doncic isn't doing well. I think a lot has to do with just the fact they're not winning. I think they're just not winning. They're 13 and 15. They need to win basketball games for Luka Doncic to really shoot through the roof.
And it's not a talent problem for them.
Yep.
There's something going on. They should be easily in the middle of the pack in the Western Conference playoff wise, and they're not. But yeah, if that turns around, I think obviously Luka's cards will turn around. He, like the other night, he had 45 points, 12 assists, 15 rebounds, and they lost. It's like, because Damian Lillard went nuts for the Trailblazers, so it's, yeah, you're right. I don't disagree with that at all.
Good.
Awesome.
We should clarify too how we're getting our buy prices. So we're taking the lowest buy it now. So not what the lowest sell was. We're taking the lowest buy it now available right now on eBay. Unless like you're me and you just go out and buy the card today just to get the
Is Ty next or Joe?
All right. Yeah, Ty, I'm going to move down to your portfolio. So just give me a second here. Now, Ty's done a little bit more buys and sells than Mike. I think Mike just was trying to skate by with not doing any buys and sells. So,
well, it hadn't helped me. So.
But you can see there, right on the screen on the bottom right-hand corner, up 82% in 2 months. That's incredible. 82%. There's a couple on there that are way, way up. So, Ty, do you want to talk through?
Yeah. I mean, like Mike said, there's been a couple that I just didn't hit on. I didn't put a lot of money in certain guys. It was kind of like high flyers, low risk, high reward type things with Chuma Okeke and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Actually, Nikhil's up 8%, but Michael Porter Jr. was my bigger investment and who hasn't done super well. But Steph Curry was the glaring buy in December. He was completely overlooked. and that is that has paid off. That has paid off, to say the least. Yeah, so I'll just jump into what I'm going to do. You can see some of the stuff I sold back in January, and stuff that I'm carrying over, like my buys from last month were adding more Porter, adding Beal, adding James Harden, adding the Nikola Jokic, who's going to win MVP this year. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sell off my Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to sell off my Beal, take my 30%. I'm selling $500 into Bichette. I'm selling Ronald Acuna Jr. and I'm selling my Luka Doncic. So I'm selling out of some guys. I'm kind of cleaning house a little bit, and I'm restructuring, keeping a couple of the high flyers, and then grabbing 4 new cards that I'm really excited about. First one is the 93 Topps Jeter, PSA 9 for 175. That's the Topps draft picks. I'm sure you're familiar with the card.
Yep.
So I'm going to grab one of those. I'm going to grab 12 of those actually, for $2,100. I'm going to grab the 1996 Topps Allen Iverson PSA 10 rookie. That's one of the ones I bought today for $1,250. I want to snag 5 of those.
Wow.
One sec. My daughter's walking in.
He's buying Jeter, Joe. What do you think of that?
I think it's you can't go wrong with Jeter.
Can't go wrong with Jeter.
Especially if you're buying what are you buying 11 of them?
I'm buying 12 of them.
Oh, that actually kind of scares me that you're going to have 12 Jeters. But
there's 2,700 of those in the pop report for PSA 9. Actually for PSA 10s. But I'm going to grab the PSA 9s. So 12 of those, Topps number 98. 96 Iverson number 171, PSA 10. There's so here's what's funny, right? I was again telling this guy the other day. There's only 3,200 total graded Allen Iverson Topps cards. And there's like 14,000 Ja Morant's PSA 10s alone.
Wow.
Why the heck would you not go gravitate and grab Allen Iverson right now? That's why these cards are exploding. It's like we're not going to add 11,000 more of these Allen Iversons. We're going to add a few hundred more maybe. Like there's not many of these cards out there. All being scooped up and flying. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to grab 5 of those for $1,250 each. I'm going to grab, is this the first hockey card for any of us? I'm grabbing 7980 Gretzky Topps, not the Opeachy. I'm going to grab the Gretzky Topps PSA 5 for $1,900. Tried to get a 6, but it was just too expensive. So I'm going to grab 2 of those. And then I'm also going to grab the 2015-16 Upper Deck Young Guns Canvas Connor McDavid for $2,300. I'm going to grab 2 of those. So there's the Young Guns standard version, and there's that Canvas version that's a little bit more rare. And surprisingly, the Canvas PSA 10 is only $2,300. You can grab them right now on eBay. So I'm going to grab 2 of those. So Jeter, Iverson, Gretzky, and Connor McDavid, adding 2 hockey to my portfolio. It leaves me with $100 extra in cash. So I'm going to have $140 in cash.
Nice. I mean, I Connor McDavid, that's a really interesting pick that maybe I need to think about that because Connor McDavid is starting to become, at least from what I've heard, like the little I know about hockey, he seems to be the next big thing, and maybe I need to start paying attention to what's going on there. I've been paying more attention to, what's going on with basketball and football, but haven't really worked my way to hockey. But the little I've heard is that he's sort of, taken hockey by storm, and maybe it's something I need to start paying attention to. So that's a good call, and then definitely can't go wrong with adding some Jeters. I wish I had added more Jeters to my last purchases last month. I think I bought 1 PSA 8 of the SP. I wish I had bought like 50 of them, but too late for that now. But cool.
I love the Steph Curry rookie was a great purchase. I mean, just I don't even know that you thought it was going to go to $16,000 like it is now. There were actually some sales because I do just so everybody knows, I do all the research to put it together. There were actually a couple sales over 18,000 and a couple at 14,000 in the last few days. And so it averaged, we take an average price, and it's insane that that's an $18,000 card. And, that it's selling for that quite literally. I I bought some Jeters. You're going to laugh, Ty, but that PSA 9 4 sharp corners had lots of them back in, it was about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, before he got elected to the Hall of Fame. So it was like December of 19. The lots were $300 for 10 of those, $30 a piece. And I bought a lot of those, and I ended up selling them right after he got in. That card really didn't do anything, and I ended up selling them for about $40 a piece. And I also bought a gold 9 at the same time, and I ended up making money on it, but it wasn't like I didn't kill it like those are now. I mean, Joe, you have a gold 10 of the Jeter. That's like a $6,000 card now or something crazy. It's nuts. So I think that's smart. Good idea, because his stuff's going to only get more attention as the election, the induction actually gets closer in June or July. I mean.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
It'll definitely give it a nice bump for sure.
Well, you kind of got me started on the late 80s, early 90s stuff, Joe, with NBA, because you took the 90 Jordan, and it got me thinking about all these cards. And I mean, you could really close your eyes and throw a dart, and some of these guys like Shaq, and Kevin Garnett, and Kobe, and I mean, all those guys in that era, they're just appreciating. But Iverson, I feel like maybe has a little bit more room than the others because he's forgotten.
Yep.
I hope.
Definitely like it.
All right.
Was his nickname The Answer? I can't remember.
Yeah.
And Gary Payton was The Glove. Is that right?
I was such a Iverson fan. My Gmail account was theanswer@gmail.com.
I know Gary Payton was The Glove because that's all I think about when I hear that Jordan documentary. Jordan's like, I had no problem with the glove.
So good.
All right,
you're up, man.
All right,
Mr. 100-something%.
Here we go. All right, here I am. 100. I'm up 142%.
This is ridiculous.
So 2 months, I am up 142%. So hopefully somebody saw this and kind of followed some of this. But a lot of these cards I own, so I just kind of went along with cards that I own. Luckily, the LeBron, look at this. The LeBron is up 173%. The Barry Bonds Tiffany is up 260%. Jerry Rice up 235%. The Larry Bird Magic Johnson's up 172%. And then the Jordan that you just mentioned, that I bought 11 of those in a PSA 10 and up 125%, which at one point that card had gotten to, I don't know if you guys noticed, that was almost at like $1,000 at one point. So I've done pretty well with this. I had a couple of cards that didn't do well. So the main two that stick out obviously are the Aaron Rodgers and the Josh Allen. The Aaron Rodgers and the Josh Allen, I think I was hedging against you guys know I own the Tom Brady Chrome in real life. So I was like, you know what, let me do it, in case, the Packers or the Bills end up winning the Super Bowl. Let me grab a couple of those in my fake portfolio. That way, if Tom Brady loses, I still win in my portfolio. So that was I was hedging my bets a little bit there. And then the Juan Soto was, I don't know what I was thinking. I actually, that card was going for about $3,000, and I went and I just looked at the buy it nows, and they were all at $5,000. The problem with this contest is if the buy it nows are $5,000 and you don't really look at recent comps, you can end up so I ended up overpaying. The card's actually up. Juan Soto Gold in a PSA 10 is It was went from a $3,000 card to a $4,000 card, but because I kind of bought it at $5,000, it's down 19%. So that's like, even with that big mistake, I'm still up pretty awesome. So any initial thoughts on that, Ty and Mike?
I think we knew you were getting high on the Soto. I think you knew it when you bought it. It was just one of those things you wouldn't have paid that in real life, but because of the way the competition's structured,
Yep.
you had to. So that was a tough luck. I would have never guessed to see what we're seeing with like the Barry Bonds, Tiffany, and even the Magic Johnson and Bird stuff. It blows my mind how much it just shot up in 4 weeks.
The Bonds actually had some other. I mean, it had a couple of close to $15,000 sales. So again, I took the average of like 5 most recent sales on eBay, but it's got some. It's funny how these big cards, there's a huge variance.
Yeah,
you can get it for 13 or 15. I mean, that's $2,000 difference, right? And to me, that's crazy. But same with the Bird Johnson. When you get cards up that high, I mean, the people that are buying that are, what's another $1,000? I mean, they really they think differently than your average person, I think. And so it's not the same processing like we would have. I think you did great, Joe, getting rid of the Lindor when you did. The Mahomes, I think, was smart to get rid of because you didn't know how the Super Bowl was going to turn out, and you did it right before the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That card's up a little bit. I just looked. It's about 10,500 or so. So you would have done okay. Like, that wouldn't have been bad if you actually bought that card and kept it. But I still think that was a smart move to get out of it. I think your biggest regret actually should be the Lou Alcindor, the Kareem rookie, because that I looked at, you sold it at $38.65. It's about and it hadn't done anything for you last month. Well, now it's a $6,000 card. So I looked that up too, because I was like, I like to look up when I'm looking up for doing our research for this, like, did we make any mistakes, like selling too early? Not that again, you did well with the stuff you picked up. Obviously, the Jordans were a great purchase. The Jeter SP foil in an 8 has almost doubled. So you did okay with your other stuff that you bought. But
yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely that's the thing, is in order to buy other cards, you have to sell from your portfolio, because you can't like add cash. So the only way to add cash is by selling. So yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't have sold the Lou Alcindor in real life, but just I thought that the Lou Alcindor, just because obviously he's not going to be playing any basketball games, like maybe there was a way to kind of build the portfolio in other areas that might go up more over a short period of time. But yeah, it was definitely the wrong call to sell that. But I actually love the Alcindor still as a buy right now, even though it's gone up.
Bill's making a good point on the chat. Is we just did the hammer prices on these. I'm not adding in money for taxes,
right?
And when we sell, I'm not taking money away for PayPal and eBay fees. That's too much math, and I'm just using hammer prices, just so everybody knows that.
I think it offsets though, because we're buying at such a higher price anyway. We're probably paying 15% higher than we would normally pay.
I mean, in the Juan Soto situation, I paid $2,000 more than what it actually was going for. So they could stop complaining about that.
I don't think anybody's complaining. I just think it's
a good point though. Yeah, especially we're doing 5 transactions a month sometimes.
Right. So Joe, what are you switching out?
Yeah. All right. So what I decided to do, and you guys might think I'm nuts here, but so I'm going to sell the LeBron James. The reason for this is, I don't know, I'm just watching. This is a card that I've been tracking for a long time, as you guys can imagine. I've seen it go from a $2,000 card to, I think it was like a $7,000 or $8,000 card last summer, and then he went ahead and won a championship with the Lakers, and then the card went down to like 3,000 or 4,000, And now it's up to, and then when it went down to 3,000 or 4,000, I was saying on my channel over and over and over that this LeBron James Topps card is way undervalued. I know that a lot of people didn't like some of his politics. I think that might have had something to do with it. But he still won another championship, third with 3 different teams, and it went up to, and now it's gone up to $11,200. So I feel like there could be, it's going to get to a point where these cards can't just keep going up. So I do like to, sell high if I can. And so now that I'm up 173% on that card, I'm going to sell that. And the nice thing is it frees up a lot of funds. So it frees up 11,200 for me. I'm also going to sell the Josh Allen just because, and I'm going to take my losses there. I just don't think that there's going to be anything there to get people excited about Josh Allen over the next couple of months. I do think that the Josh Allen card is something that you'd like. If in real life, I don't think I would ever sell this card and then buy it back. I'd probably just hold on to it. But because we're in this weird competition, this monthly competition, I just don't, over the next couple of months, I don't know if there's anything that's going to get people excited about Josh Allen over the next couple of months. So there's nothing to gain there. So that leaves me, and then with $100 cash, that leaves me with about $12,150 to spend. And so I figured let me go ahead and share my screen, and I will. Let's see if I can get this going. Share, stop screen. Let me see. Share screen, and I guess I figured I'd show you guys that I'm buying, using the buy it now prices. All right, so let's start. Let's start with this. I'm going to buy one of these. This is a card that I talked about on the. You guys may have seen the video. I did a top 10 error cards of all time, and I had a couple of honorable mentions. And one of them was the Sam Vincent card, which I actually bought just recently. Which, by the way, has gone from a $100 card in about 1 week to an $1,300 card in 1 week. I don't know if it's because of the video that I did or what. I don't know if I have that type of influence, but look it up, guys. It's gone from, I just bought it for $120 in real life, and it went up in real life to it's selling for $1,300. That's the Sam Vincent hoops card from the same set with Michael Jordan in it. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. But I figure this is kind of another one of those oddball cards that I think people could get into just randomly, that you can get pretty cheap. It's the 1990 hoops Mark Jackson, and you can see the Menendez brothers sitting in the background. It's just one of those oddball cards that I think would be, a lot of people would think is kind of cool to add to their collection, especially in a PSA 10. So I'm going to buy one of those for $450. I'm going to buy my man Clint Frazier. I'm going to buy 2 of him for $200 in a PSA 10, the Bowman Chrome Auto. You guys know I'm a huge Yankees fan, and he's going to have left field finally to himself. And I could see some people get excited about that. Like, Clint Frazier, finally gets his opportunity with the Yankees. They haven't signed Gardner yet, so it looks like he's probably going to have left field to himself. I think the Yankees will finally give him a shot this year, and I could see that people get – I tried – with baseball, it's tough because we're in February, and it's like I don't really see any big free agent acquisitions happening now. I feel like all the big ones have already been done, so it's like, well, what could get people excited? I could see people getting excited about Clint Frazier, and you can pick this up all day long in a PSA 10 for $200. I'm going to buy 2 of the Shaq rookies in a PSA 10. So I was looking at the top 10 basketball players of all time, and Shaq is on pretty much anybody's list as a top 10 player of all time. And I just thought it was interesting that, and I know that the Pop report might be a lot more for the Shaq. I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but if you could get a LeBron for over $11,000, why would a Shaq card be only $1,500? I actually prefer the gold card over this card because of the Pop report. So I'd much rather own the gold card just if you guys in real life are interested in buying this card, I would go for the gold if you could afford it. But if you can't, I think the PSA 10 is a great card to go after. Everyone knows Shaq. He's a a huge icon, and he's a top 10 player of all time. And for $1,500 in a PSA 10, for what is one of the most like everyone's familiar with this card, so I think they could go crazy. And then I decided to buy 2 of the Tim Duncan rookie cards in a PSA 10, sort of similar to what you were just saying, Ty, about Steph Curry. I think Tim Duncan is just as underrated, if not more underrated. And I think it's crazy that you could buy this card for $4,100 in a PSA. I could buy this right now. You guys can go on eBay right now, buy this card for $4,100 in a PSA 10, the Chrome card of Tim Duncan, who won 5 championships with the Spurs, and is considered to be the greatest, maybe the greatest, if not the greatest power forward of all time. And you can buy his Chrome PSA 10 for $4,100. I'm buying two of them right now because I think that is a hugely undervalued card. So those are my picks, guys. Duncan, 2 Duncans, 2 Shaqs, 2 Clint Fraziers, and a Mark Jackson card. So what do you guys think?
And a partridge in a pear tree.
That's
good. The Duncan, I don't know. That seems, I love Tim Duncan, but that just seems a little crazy to me.
Oh, did we lose you? Ty, I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Ty, I think you're on mute.
I don't know what's going on.
There you are.
Oh my God. No, I would say the problem with Duncan is that he's a big man, and I think he will move. I think you're right. Yeah, although $4,100 does seem, because there's $2,300 in the PSA 10 pop for that card, which is not a lot, obviously, compared to what we see these days.
I think I'm going to the I just think that people they start with the Jordan, right, and then they slowly move their way down the tail, and now collectors are starting to get, a little bit more savvy, and they're like, okay, it's not just about Jordan and Jeter and, then you start going, okay, well, who are some of the other greats? And the same reason you landed on Steph Curry, I think. It's like, who's next?
Yeah, you're talking Iverson. That's what you're thinking. You're thinking Iverson. Yeah, no, you're right though. But yeah, someone was asking what the PSA pop is. So it's 23.37 on the PSA 10 for that Chrome Duncan, 42.10 on the PSA 9. There's only 6,800 total of those graded, so very low.
I think. Oh, there's Mike. I think, Mike, you got so excited about my picks that you just couldn't handle it, huh?
I actually was trying to close out another window, and I closed out you guys accidentally. Yeah, it's I mean, you've done great. I think Joe, your biggest strategy would be sell everything and sit on your cash and let us try to catch you. That might be the smartest move, because you're so far ahead. I mean, Ty and I both have to go up like 50% from here just to catch you.
Well,
above you.
50% on a million's one thing, but 50% on 35,000 is a different thing. We're talking one card, this next month will be interesting. If you increase the lead another 50% on us, that's over. We might as well buy your jersey.
Yeah.
I guess Bill says I should buy up the Matt Noakes. Sorry, I had Matt Noakes on here, but I at the last minute I was like, you know what?
His point is, if you said buy Matt Noakes, it would all dry up because everybody would follow what you're saying and go do it.
Can you guys, why would the Sam Vincent card?
I don't get that one. I just don't. That stuff to me is a fluke.
You should sell that right now. Sell it right now.
What? But why is it? Is it because I did a video on it?
No, it's just hype. But I think you should sell it and go buy some Chew Me a Cookie cards.
You think that's funny, don't you? You really think that's funny?
I do.
Yeah, not funny. Chuma Okiki is the next big thing. I'm kidding. No, it's been a terrible pick. I get it. Let me look. What is the pop report on that Sam Vincent? You know, let me look. That's a hoops, right? That's the hoops or the Fleer?
Yeah, the 1990 hoops. I mean, I bought it as like a joke, you know, like I was like, it'd be kind of cool to buy buy that card after I did all the research for that video.
Let's see, Vincent. There's not Vincent. Sam Vincent. There's 112. Oh, the one that shows Jordan. 589. PSA 10s, there's 210. PSA 9s, there's 249. So there's not a lot of them.
Gotcha.
Crazy. I don't get it. There was it 2 years ago? Was the 1819 Optic? I think it was Optic that had Jordan in the background of a card. Do you remember that?
Which was not good because he's not allowed to be on any cards.
Right. And the card just started going crazy, like $200 or $300 ungraded. I think it was a Rodman card that had Jordan in it. Hilarious. The things people care about.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Sean, thank you for bringing this up. Like, so one of the rules, right, is that it has to be the four main sports, right? Guys, we said you have to stay within baseball, football, hockey, and basketball.
That's right.
So, but this card right here,
the Luke
this
rookie.
Is it. This card, if I could have bought this card in this challenge, I would have done it. I probably would have spent my entire budget on this card. I'm serious. I think this card's going to the moon. I think this is going to be like the Jordan of Star Wars cards. The Luke Skywalker card. I'm serious.
What grade is that? What grade is yours?
This is a PSA 8, and this was like the first card, the first card of the first series. It features Luke Skywalker in his stormtrooper outfit. I don't know. I think it's a good card.
Was that? Hold on. Let me look it up. That's 77, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was I don't know if you know this, Joe, but I bought a big lot of cards and 100,000 cards, whatever. And I pulled out this 3,200 count row of cards and like all the Star Wars. And I pulled out 17 Boba Fett rookies.
Oh, nice.
And I sent them all off to PSA. And then the very last row, I found this Darth Vader rookie, not worth grading, but in that 77 set, just sitting there unsleeved. And I'm like, this turd, wish he would have put a sleeve on this thing.
Yeah, I think that could go for a pretty penny too, that card that you just showed.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm going to keep it. It's such a cool card, but
in a good grade. Yeah, I think somebody mentioned in the comments I guess the Joe Rogan card has been going up. Like people are going after some weird stuff now, because I think like everyone's going like, well, I'm not paying $4,100 for a Tim Duncan card, right? So
yeah.
Maybe I'll find some card that hasn't taken off yet, and so like, but then again, it's like I don't know. It's just everyone goes after this like the Sam Vincent. Like, why would it? Like it's amazing how quickly a card can go crazy.
I'm gonna buy a Big Bird rookie, the John Travolta rookie, and an Elmo rookie next week because they're going. They're shooting up.
Do you want to see my latest card?
Yes.
Oh, please.
All right. Speaking of which, this is Mike Tyson's rookie.
Oh, okay.
So I bought this card recently.
Is that a Panini sticker or something, or like a sticker?
Yeah, it's a sticker. It's a 1986 Panini Super. It's a sticker. I must be out of my mind, but I like it's Italia.
I think it's genius.
So I bought the Mike Tyson.
How much?
I'm kind of venturing out because, like, maybe it's just like the Barry Bonds Tiffany is a perfect example. Like, I keep bringing that up because I was so close to buying it and I still want it, but I'm not going to pay $16,000 for it. So I'm just like, well, okay, I guess I'm not buying a Bonds card anymore. And so I've been, and like I feel like maybe it's all the baseball prices just because I've spent so much time in it. They all feel so overpriced. And so I've just been kind of like looking like, well, what else, can I buy that's not going to be, insanely expensive? And so I've been finding Sam Vincent cards and Mike Tyson rookies and Luke Skywalker cards, so I've been, I don't know, not doing what I normally would do because I've just been kind of searching for what else is out there.
They're not kidding. These Joe Rogan cards are going for $1,000.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm the new Gary V.
Wow.
I
wish I had that much influence.
How much did you pay for the Tyson? What'd you pay for the Tyson?
A lot, a real lot. I don't want to say a real lot. It's a PSA 8, and there's only it's a PSA 8, and I think the pop on it is like around 30 or 40 that are like I think there's 19 that are a PSA 8, and there are 20 cards graded higher. So if you want a Mike Tyson rookie card, the original, like there's the 80s, this one's the 86 Italia version, and then there's a UK version from 87. So anyway.
Crazy.
But yeah, New York Yanks fans 7, he says that he's not buying anything. He's done buying.
Well, he's got a pretty amazing collection already. He doesn't need to buy anything else.
I can retire.
Ty, have you heard about the Mickey Mantle rookie?
No. When did you buy your card? Did you buy your Tyson in December?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see which one you bought.
Something like this.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, Sean says don't burn your cards. Oh, I'm not Vegas Dave, Sean. I'm not going to be burning a Jordan sticker.
No, he's talking to me.
Oh, is he? Is he? I assumed he was talking about Vegas Dave because Vegas Dave, like in his stupid video, he burned a Jordan sticker.
Yes, I saw it.
Like the one of the like.
He's an idiot.
Is he like? Am I the only person that finds him hilarious? He's like, I'm, like everything's just like I'm so great, and you know what's going to happen in the next 20 years? The market's going to crash. I'm like, oh yeah, what a prediction! By the year 3000, everything's going to collapse. Like, wow, way to put yourself out there, Gary. Sorry, not Gary, Vegas Dave.
No, you're right. It's like anybody could say that, right? Anything can happen in the next 2 or 3 years.
Right.
In the next 20 years, it's going to go down.
Right. Well, the beauty is like, well, what does that mean? We lost Mike again.
What is his deal?
What does a crash even mean? Like, does a crash, if it goes down 40%, is that a crash? Like, what does he mean? Like, there's no explanation as to what defines a crash.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
A crash would be like, going back to like 2018 prices, 2019 prices, which is not going to happen.
No, well, and especially when you're saying 2 years out, right? If the prices continue to rise like they're doing, I mean, they could go up another 200% in some of these cards, and if they fall back 50%, that's not, right. I mean, whatever, right? It's a normal market movement.
I told you.
Yep. There it is.
There it is. There's the crash.
It's like Vegas Dave, I'm so sorry you put all your money in Derek Carr. Like, don't try to take down the rest of the hobby. It'll take down itself when it's ready.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Rodoc says, I liken it to these people that collect serial killer. Oh, geez.
Exactly. Someone earlier was saying like this is a gimmicky card, and it wasn't like it's not Jack Nicholson in there. Such a good point though. It's freaking serial killers in there. What are you collecting these guys for?
I guess I just bought a Menendez card. So. Those Rogan cards will dip once people realize he was a Trump supporter. Oh, geez, here we go. I clicked on the wrong comment.
Oh, there goes your YouTube channel.
Yeah, 2018 prices are not going to happen again. Yeah, but yeah, there's so many ways you could spin a crash. You can be like, oh well, if it goes down this amount, like I told you it was going to happen. Housing market crashed. Let's see what. And if you buy the Menendez rookie and then sell it for a profit, you're technically profiting off of the market. All right.
We get it.
I shouldn't have bought the card. I thought it was kind of a unique card. OJ Simpson. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That might be a good buy.
What's next month? Remind me. With
What's
Simpson. What's next month for OJ? Oh, adding OJ next month. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
Got it. Amazing.
I don't know what happened to Mike. He's gone.
That guy. Well, is he dealing with the rolling power outages out there? Is he dealing with that in Texas right now?
I guess. I don't know what. Oh, that's right. They're like my sister-in-law has been out of power for like 3 days. She lives over in Texas.
Yeah.
It's supposedly a mess down there.
He said he's back again.
Really?
My camera's not working, but
That's been really fun, Mike.
yeah, isn't that good?
A Pujols way undervalued. Totally agree on that. Man, that's one I should have added. Gosh darn it. Another guy that I think is undervalued, and you're not going to believe this, I think Zion Williamson is finally getting to a point where you should buy him again.
Yikes.
The dude's putting up 25 a game. He looks really good, but I digress.
I feel like I always talk about Pujols being undervalued, and then like I keep not buying his rookie because I don't know. I feel like everyone's been saying he's undervalued for so long that he's not really undervalued anymore. Oh my God.
Okay, maybe that's a sign. It's been good. Thanks for having us on your channel.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Any last words, Ty?
I'm impressed, man. You've killed it. It's been really fun so far. I know we're only halfway through, but I can't wait to see how some of this pans out. If you were to predict what we end at, because we're ending in June, right? I think we said we're doing this for 6 months. Mm-hmm. What do you think our final percentages are going to be?
I don't know. I mean, like, I would have never have guessed that the market would be like, I would have, if you would have said that I'd be up 142% for the entire 6 months, I would have been like, that is amazing. Because there's nothing out there that you would expect to gain that type of percentage in 6 months. There's nothing there's nothing you could buy into that would ever offer that type of return. So I don't know, man. I like at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if things kind of steady a little bit, and it's we're just trying to break even over the next 4 months. I would not be surprised, but then again, I feel like things just keep going up and up. So maybe, and a lot of people are really bullish on, I don't hear too many videos besides Vegas Dave that says that now's the time to sell. So. We'll see.
Well, I did the part of that report I was talking about earlier. You have a few more minutes. Sorry, I know we're ending. Was about there's a delta right now. Like cards $500 and lower PSA 10s have gone up like 18% across sports on average. Cards like 500 to 1,000 have gone up like 6% in the last 4 months on average, which is crazy. That middle tier. But the cards over $1,000 are up like 90% on average. So there's a gap where like that middle tier just hasn't done really well, but the cheaper stuff and the really expensive stuff has just killed it the last 4 months. It's really interesting.
It's unfortunately sometimes it's the rich get richer, right? And that's like why I've tried to put my stuff into quality cards, because we've seen that. We've been seeing that since the beginning of sports cards, right? That the big cards like the 52 Mantle, like you think about like all my cards when I growing up are all worthless, but if you look at like that top 1% have all gone up and up and up and up. So it's not that surprising that stat that you just brought up, because it's been going on since I was a kid. Like if you bought a Mantle back, a 52 Mantle, back in the 80s, 90s, all you've seen is it go up since the beginning of time, right? So,
yeah. It's like buying land.
Right. And that's why there's so many people are in on the Jordan, right? Because it's just like, they just assume it'll go up forever because that's all it's been doing.
Yeah. I'm surprised you held the 90 Fleer. Are you pretty confident? I think it was a great hold. Do you think those 90s Jordans keep going up? It's iconic card.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm not like, especially the fact that it took a little bit of a dip. If it was like around 1,000, I probably would have sold it, or maybe I thought about it. But the fact that it almost hit 1,000 and then took a dip, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps, going up. So I have no qualms about owning 11 Jordan PSA 10s.
Yeah.
Especially at your price that you got in at.
Right. Exactly.
And
I can't remember or not.
You were talking about the top end of the market. And I still think that has room to go, but like, I think the Mantle rookie has been way undervalued for a long time, and everybody focuses on the 52 tops, which is a great card in and of itself, but the 51 Bowman Mantle is a great card too. Today one sold the PSA 5, which is what I track because that's what I have. It sold for 45 grand today. So it's not bad for 1 year and 1 month that I've owned it.
You can get, you could sell that right now and get almost 1 Bitcoin. You should consider that. You
could also sell it right now and get 1 PSA 10 Mike Trout Diamond Anniversary card. They're the same price.
I saw someone earlier saying Trout's the recency bias with Trout's getting a little crazy, and I totally agree with that. The guy needs to get in the playoffs. I mean, my goodness. Prices people are paying. Playoffs.
All right, Mike, I think we're about to sign off.
Next month's on our channel back at Bench Clear, and we'll rotate back to Joe's crappy channel at some point, but nobody watches Joe's channel, so what's the point?
Every time he mentions a card, it blows up in the hobby. So yeah.
Well, the funny thing is that everyone, on my last video that I did with my dad, I think everyone wants my dad to replace me as the host of my channel. So the octogenarian. Did you see that video, Ty?
Which one?
My dad was on my channel last.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it was really funny.
The comments on it have been just like overwhelming. Everyone's been so supportive of. And they show so much love to my dad's knowledge and love for the sport that it was overwhelming. I didn't even know how to respond to the comments. I was just like, thank you. That's
really
awesome.
Cool. I have to go back and watch that.
It was really cool.
Do you let your dad read the comments? Does he read them?
The funny thing is, like, he's so technologically challenged that I don't know if he knows. Like, I even sent him a link to the. I edited it, put it, he wanted to watch it like after we recorded it. And I was like, well, let me edit it and I'll send it to you. And I sent him like a link, and I don't think I don't think he knows how to like click on it and view it. So, he just like, it's a lot of people want him to take over my channel, but I don't think he would even know how to even begin. Like, he doesn't even know how to click on my video and watch the video. All he has to do is click on it on his iPhone. So I don't know what the problem is, but he like the beauty is that he's been a huge fan of baseball. The two of us have been huge fans of baseballs, and he's been a fan of it since like the 50s. So he's got some insane, like, he remembers, the shot heard around the world, and he's met DiMaggio and he's met Namath, and he's one of those guys. He'll walk over to anybody on the street. Like, if he sees a famous person, he'll just walk right over to him and, ask him if I could buy you a drink, or, like, he's one of those guys. And so he has stories. Like, he met George Steinbrenner in the elevator one time, and he remembers having a conversation with George Steinbrenner about Tino Martinez after he beat the Yankees when he was with the Mariners, and then George said something to my dad like we're gonna get him about Tino Martinez, and sure enough, they grabbed Tino Martinez, which is really cool. Like I remember my dad telling me about that before the Yankees ever signed Tino. So things like that. Like I definitely want to have him on more often, but the problem is like he lives an hour and a half away, and just need to set aside time to get him on the channel. So
That is awesome. I will absolutely go watch that.
yeah.
By the way, the comments going back and forth between Pujols and Trout right now are fire. This is great. I'm entertained just watching these people argue.
It is funny.
Pujols has a world. Hey, does it? Yeah. Trout can't even make the playoffs. The problem with baseball is like, there's only so much Pujols can do. Like the team around him just sucks. Which like is that Trout's fault? Like I guess it does hurt his greatness, to a certain extent. But a lot of greats never won a championship in baseball. In basketball, you have to win a championship.
Yeah. I think it does hurt, though, a little bit that it's been said here that he's just a super quiet, reserved dude. The major league has tried to make him the face of baseball, and they really couldn't do it. So now it's going to be Tatis. They tried with Acuna. Now they're going to try with Tatis. Like they need somebody who's got charisma, and Trout didn't have it.
Soto.
Yeah. The baseball, one of my biggest gripes is that they've done a terrible job of, promoting their young talent. It's kind of unfortunate. And then it's like the baseball, like, the old school baseball stuff, like if Tatis wants to celebrate after a grand slam, like let him do it. I don't know. The old school baseball rules, I think sometimes hurt the sport a little bit.
All right. We'll see you all next month.
Thank you, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, I guess he left. We're still on. We're still live.